Good morning. My name is Ms. Deline, and I've been divinely guided to share something with you, and that is oracle cards. So, in my own life, I, for years, have drawn an oracle card, sometimes more on a daily basis, as much as possible. I just moved, so it hasn't been so daily because I couldn't find my cards, but I have them now. And it's something that I just love it. It just gives me inspiration. So today I thought I'd share it with you, and I'll share it daily as much as possible. I figured this was a time when people have more time to watch videos, but it's especially a time when people might want some inspiration. So I have chosen today the Oracle deck called Sacred Rebel Guidebook. And I drew the card that says trust yourself. It is so beautiful. Artwork of this deck is amazing. And I'll read you just part of what she's written about this card, the main gist of it. You are wise. You know how to grow even without knowing how you know. And this reminds me of my friend Karen, who was also a spiritual mentor, and she would say, I know what I know. And sometimes we know things, we have no idea how we know things. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's genetic, something that, we're from our ancestors that has been genetically passed down to us. Sometimes we read something we don't remember reading. That doesn't matter. You know what you know. And you need to trust that. I shouldn't say need, but it would be good if you trusted that. Trust yourself. Like the ancient forest, spectacular galaxies, and the acorn that becomes the oak, there's a natural intelligence for growth that is beyond logic and reason. It just happens. At the deepest levels, we are governed by this force that is so palpable it literally shapes the world. At the same time, it is so invisible that we sometimes forget its presence and worry that our minds have to work everything out for life to happen and for us to be all right. We can become unnecessarily anxious about our affairs and how life will unfold. This oracle brings the message that you are growing. You really are. Don't doubt it. Even if you don't see it yet, remember that so much is happening when the seed is still unbroken in the ground. Below the earth, it is summoning up all the might, power, and force it needs to push above the topsoil and burst into the light. It is essential for anything good to happen later on. Yet we don't see any of that. We just have to trust that all things will happen when the time is right. So this is a time of trusting. It's also a time of, being beneath the soil where it's dark. I like to think of it as the cocoon time. So there have been times in my life when I was really young and of course that passes. My mantra when I go through times, sometimes it's just this too shall pass. And sometimes I take it a day at a time. And there have been times that are so painful, I've taken it a minute at a time. But this too shall pass. It doesn't matter if it's joy or pain, it will pass. And, something else will happen. And so it's always temporary. Everything we go through is temporary. So that's the good news, right? So I think of this time as being the time of a cocoon. And that cocoon is a dark place. But what happens in that cocoon? That caterpillar is going along, leading its life, munching on the leaves, and just in its doing its thing, right? And then one day it's called the cocoon. It latches onto a little branch or sometimes onto a leaf, and it just becomes surrounded by this substance, and it goes into the darkness. So this cocoon time is a time when everything comes to a standstill, right? It's a time when it's stillness, when it's time to just get ready for new growth. And after going through that still time in that dark place, the caterpillar just comes out into this most beautiful, magnificent butterfly. And now it's no longer crawling along the leaves and munching. It's flying, flying. Okay. So one of my favorite memes is something like, um, your wings are ready. It's time to fly. Well, your wings are getting ready. Okay. So take this time. I would love to just inspire you to take this time to do something that fills you up. Maybe there's a book you have always wanted to read, or a Netflix TV series you've always wanted to watch. Maybe there's someone that you haven't called in a long time that you think about. I have someone on my mind right now that you think about, but you're so busy in life. And by the time you have time to do it, it's 10 o'clock at night and it's too late, right? Call those people, reach out to people, take the time to nurture your family relationships. This is a wonderful time to do all those things. It's a quiet time. It's a time to just go within and enjoy the moment, but trust yourself and trust that this time is temporary and you're just growing your wings so that you can fly. Okay? Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and namaste.